Good evening, I'm Ted Langdell in the Yuba-Sutter.LIVE newsroom, where we are reporting tonight on a series of earthquakes that have been taking place in the Belden, California area. This is north of Highway 70. Yuba-Sutter is down here, and Belden is right up here. And the series of earthquakes and aftershocks have been initially reported at 4.8, then downgraded over a period of time. The latest series of earthquakes is about 2.9. That's the first one that's less than 4.0 on the earthquake scale. As you can see, there's quite a few going on here. We take a look at the page for the first earthquake that was reported as 4.8, and it's been felt in quite a wide area. As we take a look at this interactive map, and there are a number of people who have reported this in all kinds of places as we take a look here. And coming up in just a few minutes, you will be able to watch the Marysville Momentum broadcast. Let's zoom in here, give you an idea of where this particular earthquake occurred. This is north of Belden, which is a town along the Highway 70 Feather River Canyon area. This one apparently took place in the neighborhood of Chips Creek, which is a little bit higher than 4,000 feet, or right in the neighborhood of 4,000 feet elevation. And as we scroll along here, some of the landmarks would be Morris Lake to the southeast, and Belden on Highway 70, which is right here behind me. This is Highway 70, and we're going to zoom out a little bit and show you where Belden is located. Anyway, the Feather River Canyon here. And as we take a look at the Did You Feel It map, it was felt in quite a lot of places. This series of earthquakes happened right about 6:34 this afternoon, and were within a few seconds of each other. A 4.8 initial report, now downgraded to about a 4.5, then a 4.3 a few seconds later, and other aftershocks have been occurring since then. And I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot of people and your friends and neighbors telling you that they felt it as well. The most recent one happened at 7:03, it looks like. And we'll take a look at this one here as we look a little closer on the earthquake map. This may give you a little better idea of where some of these earthquakes have been happening, and also some of the faults. These are some of the earthquake faults that are in the area here. The Butt Creek. Let's see if we can get zooming the correct direction here. Coming up in just a little bit on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE after we end this, we will show you the Marysville Momentum broadcast, which you may have first seen at the Marysville City Council meeting on Tuesday night. Now, it looks as though a number of these have been taking place within a few kilometers of each other. This one was the 4.3 that happened at 6:34:49. This one here was at 16:34:24, so that was 4.5, a little bit earlier than that. And then the most recent one that we see here is at 2.9 on the scale. See if we can find a little bit more. It was about 0.7 of a kilometer below the surface of the Earth. And these others that we see here were 10 kilometers, so it's kind of like some of these are getting a little closer to the Earth's surface here. There have been other earthquakes today in Alaska, in Puerto Rico, Cruz Bay, and a number of fairly sizable ones have been occurring in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on the central mid-Atlantic ridge. A 5.0 happening earlier today south of Yuba-Sutter, Japan, and a number of others that have been rather active, including in the Taiwan area. So there is a good bit of shaking going on today, including here in Northern California, where these earthquakes have been felt across a fairly wide area of Northern California. You listen to yourself as an echo, it makes you sound a little drunk if you react to that. So the latest one, 2.9. This one was 4.3 in blue, 4.5. The first one that we saw reported, that was originally reported as 4.8. So that is what's been going on in Northern California as far as earthquakes go. And quite a few people have been reporting feeling them. Here is a look at where it was felt, including quite a few reports from down here in the Marysville, Yuba City area. For example, 5 responses indicating a 3. Another response indicating it was a 2. And 14 responses from over in the Yuba City area. So quite a lot of people felt it here in Yuba-Sutter. And I imagine there will be some aftershocks that would likely be lighter that you may not feel here. But those first several shocks did indeed. And I was sitting here in my chair, and the chair started moving up and down, and my computer monitor started bouncing back and forth. Rather reminiscent of 1975 when I was sitting in the control room of K145 KOBO about ready to do a newscast when there was a sizable earthquake up near Oroville that resulted in a lot of people very curious and very interested or concerned about what would happen if Oroville Dam had a problem during an earthquake. So again, we've seen earthquakes happening in an area of Butte County, up north of Belden. This is Plumas County, in the area that's about 5 kilometers northwest of Belden along Highway 70. And the elevations ranging from 4,000 feet to something a little higher than that, depending on where on the ridge you may have been. This one here occurred over near Indian Creek in the Lassen National Forest. This one appears to have been up on the top of, or near the top of a ridge. Let's zoom out a little bit. Maybe we can get a little better idea of what that area looks like. But this is where these earthquakes were taking place. This is Lake Almanor, right here, and Bucks Lake, Susanville, Chico over here, and Marysville, Yuba City farther south of that. This will give you a little bit closer idea of where these earthquakes have been happening in Northern California. This is Magalia in Butte County, and this is Belden right here. Let me see if we can zoom in, but not so quickly. So Belden is right here, and these occurred on Indian Creek that goes into the Feather River just south of Belden, downstream of Belden, and on Chips Creek, or the ridge above Chips Creek. This one here occurring about 10 kilometers below the Earth's surface. This one here that we're looking at right here, about 1.1 kilometer below the Earth's surface. And the one on Indian Creek near the end of Indian Springs Road was 0.7 kilometers. So a good bit of earthquake activity here in Northern California being widely felt. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more reports from your neighbors, your friends, and on television as they try to find out a little bit more about what was damaged, if anything, and just how widespread this was felt. Live in the Yuba-Sutter.LIVE newsroom, I'm Ted Langdell, and this has been a special report. You're watching Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE is your local television station. Coming up right here on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE in just a moment or two, we will have Marysville Momentum in a separate broadcast.